So it's Monday, and I think it was like 2 weeks ago on a Monday. Um, I was complaining that I haven't had a donut in a long time. And I was looking forward to having a donut that weekend, but then I remembered I actually had some cookies. So I'm like, damn, all right, not gonna have the donut that weekend. So then this past weekend comes along, and you got the Girl Scouts out there outside the outside the supermarket selling Girl Scout cookies, and I'm like, all right, I usually go ahead and when you get the kids that are out there selling freaking candies or whatever the heck they're selling, for the most part, not all the time, not 100% of the time, but for the most part, I'll go ahead and I'll buy, right? Because I used to do it myself when those kids that walk around now they use duffel bags, but back when I was doing it, you would carry like a big old tub with just like candles and candies and all this stuff, right? So I was never part of the Boy Scouts or anything like that. But anyway, there's Girl Scouts out there, and hey, do you want to buy? And I'm just like, yeah, sure, all right. And I'm like, well, there it is. And no donuts anymore. That's it. My donut, me feeding for donuts, homie, continues into this week. So now this week, I'm hoping I could go ahead, or this weekend, I'm hoping I could go ahead and give myself a donut. What's up, Pesu Sam? I'm going to get into to a subject in a minute or two, but I do got a little bit of a gripe before I get into what I want to talk about. So, and I touched on it just real quick on Instagram, right? On the stories. And that is both times that I had bought Girl Scout cookies, it was the mom that was making the sale. It was the mom. I mean, the little girl was there as well, but the mom was the one there, making the sell, trying to sell the Girl Scout cookies. Like, hey, look, you got the mint, you got this one with some caramel in it. And I'm thinking, like, okay, so I was just directly talking to the daughter, like, okay, because I need the daughter to make the sell. She's the Girl Scout, not the mom. But the Girl Scout, she's just kind of standing there, not really doing much. Mom's doing all the work. And I'm like, okay, how do you want kids to grow up, damn it? Time and time and time again, you got adults complaining about kids. Oh, man, you know what? Kids nowadays, they don't have respect. Oh, when I was their age, I was doing all this already. I was doing all that. Yes, but at the same time, if you keep doing for the kids, then how do you expect kids to build some sort of fortitude so they can actually go out in life and seek life? It was bothering me, dog. Hello, what is happening? I'm just griping a little bit on what happened. Me purchasing some Girl Scout cookies. I'm gonna get into a story here in a second or two, but that was kind of bothering me. I should have just put the box back down on the table and said, you know what? Unless she makes the sale, I'm not buying. Because you're actually hurting your kids by doing everything for them. She's the Girl Scout. Have her speak up, have her make the sale, have her handle the money, instead of her just standing in the background with her Girl Scout uniform as mom is doing everything. What's up, Pelon? You're hurting them. You are hurting your kids by doing all this for them. And then later on, just to complain about kids. Oh, man, sounding like Frog from the movie Colors. I don't know, Holmes. I don't know about these youngsters. I don't know about this new generation. Okay, you're the one doing it. 2 times now. Twice. Right outside the supermarket, Girl Scout cookie table set up. And both times, the little girl, she's there. But the mom is the one working the money. The mom is the one talking. The mom is the one making the sale. The mom is the one showing the product. Then what the flying flip do you have your daughter there for then? Have your daughter do that. You as a parent, mom, you should be there, because there might be some punk ass weirdos that are going to try to take advantage of your daughter. I understand that. Yes, you definitely need to be there. But have your daughter handle the money. Have your daughter make the sale. Have your daughter show the product. Have your daughter speak up. You are hurting your kids by doing it for them. And then you got adults just, oh man, kids these days, man, when I was their age, I used to do all this stuff. Yes, then let them do it. Let them do it. Make sure nobody's there to jack them. Make sure nobody's there to kidnap them. Make sure nobody's there to, all these punk ass weirdos that are out there. Yes, be sure you're there working security, but have them do it all. Quit complaining about youngsters if you're the ones doing all this to the youngsters. You're doing it for them. Knock it off. They need to do it, and if they crash and burn, and they need to they need to go through all the bumps and cuts and bruises in life, man. You protecting them from all that. Oh man, I want to give my kids everything that I didn't have. Be careful with that, parents. Be careful with that. Be careful with wanting to give your kids everything because you had a jacked up childhood. Be careful with that, because you're going to end up raising a bunch of spoiled ass little brats that cannot do anything for themselves. All right, let's see. What's up, Ari Familia? Derek, what's going on, my brother? Out there in Minnesota, I think it is. All right, anyway, let me go ahead and get to the story, dog. So, look, check this out, Holmes. When I was a kid, there was no such thing as an e-bike. Okay, there was no... the thought of electrical bikes was nowhere in anybody's minds. Right now we got electrical cars, electrical bikes, everything is becoming electrical stuff, and it's really not electrical, it's just batteries. Right? It's batteries. So just rechargeable batteries. So anyway, some of these e-bikes, and who knows, man, maybe some of you guys have them, maybe some of your kids have them, but some of these things, dog, are starting to cause some pretty bad issues. And apparently you got a father that's facing some prison time because of his son on an e-bike. Let me go ahead and let me play this story right here. Let me make sure you guys can hear it. All right, I've almost.
To parents tonight about the dangers of e-bikes. It comes from the Orange County District Attorney. Get this, he filed criminal charges against the father of a teen who was involved in a crash while riding an e-bike. NBC4's Amber Free is live for us in Yorba Linda with more on the case and how it's highlighting a growing safety concern all across the county. Amber.
Hey, Michael. Well, while e-bikes are becoming more popular among teens, police say what parents don't realize is just how strong these bikes can be when they're modified or when they're not being used properly. They can be very dangerous, they say. Now,
Hey, dog, how much are e-bikes? Because I see them in the poorest neighborhoods as well, man. I mean, are they pretty cheap? Because, I mean, I see them in the barrios and everything. They're just rolling up and down, and some of these suckers go pretty damn fast.
Got some video from Irvine PD that shows some incidents the department has responded to in which these bikes have resulted in pretty bad crashes. We do want to warn you, though, these images may be hard to watch. Video.
All right, I don't have the video, just the audio.
From Irvine Police shows how quickly an e-bike ride can turn dangerous. In several incidents shared by the department, riders lose control, crash, or slam into cars. Now, the growing concern is at the center of a criminal case filed by the Orange County District Attorney.
The father has been charged in connection with helping his son modify an e-bike into an e-motorcycle by changing the pedals from pedals to motorcycle pegs, and then also removing the governor on the bike, which limited the speed of the vehicle to 20 miles an hour, and rewiring it so that it would allow the vehicle to be driven up to 60 miles an hour.
Damn. Wow, dog. Okay, so I didn't know that you could do the these modifications on e-bikes. I don't have an e-bike, homie. I don't know. Honestly, I don't really know anybody who has an e-bike. I mean, I'm sure, maybe I do. I just don't know that if they have one or not. But, so this dad went ahead and modified the e-bike for his son, right? His son got into an accident. So he modified it in a way where he took the governor off. Now, a lot of big rigs, especially in California, have governors. All right, governors basically tap you out at a certain speed. So apparently e-bikes, or this particular e-bike, tapped out at 20 miles per hour, which that's a pretty damn good speed right there, okay? So the dad modified it for his son, and now it was going 60 miles per hour. Dog, 60 miles per hour, homie. For his teenage kid, or how old was this kid? 12 or something? Dog, homie, that is fast. That is fast, Holmes. That is not a bicycle. That's a motorcycle now, dog. And for a kid, 60 miles per hour on a bike for a kid? Wow. And they're saying he took off the pedals and put on motorcycle pegs. Let me see what you guys are saying. That's why this world, because the parents coddle the kids too much and grow. Yeah, I'm with you on that one, Anthony Bravo. Let me see. We have a lot of e-bikes in the Bay. Okay, thousands. Are they thousands? I don't know. I've never even looked into buying one. I'll never get one. I got myself... Man, homie, I got a regular bike. A real bike. You got to work that sucker, Holmes. You got to push them pedals, homie. Let me see. The homies always get the discount. Maxime Barella, what's going on, girlfriend? It's been a while. Okay, let me see. That really gets I go because when things go wrong, they want to blame others. That is rather than see themselves in the mirror. Puro serio. Yeah. Okay. So the dad modified. I think he said the kid was 12. Well, look. Even if the kid wasn't 12, right? Maybe I didn't hear right. Even if the kid is still a minor. Let's say he's 17 years old. Dog, 60 miles per hour, Holmes. 60. He's not in a car. He's on a bike. 60 miles per hour, dog. That is fast, Holmes. All right, let's continue.
Kimberly adds with the DA's office as Richard John Easterlin of Yorba Linda faces felony child endangerment and child abuse charges, along with contributing to the delinquency of a minor. She says his 12-year-old son was seriously injured last year.
12-year-old. Yep. 12-year-old. 12-year-old son, and you modify that e-bike to go 60 miles per hour? Are you nuts? 20 miles per hour, look, dog, I'll tell you guys this. 20 miles per hour, you could do some damage, homie, at 20 miles per hour on a bike. You could get pretty jacked up at 20 miles per hour. This dad modified it purposefully to go 60 miles per hour. The kid is 12. Now, I'm all, look, Holmes, I got no problem with living life on the edge. There's a good country song saying, because the chicks dig it. 12 years old, 60 miles per hour on a bike? Come on, dog. Come on, man. And now he's facing charges of child endangerment. And what? Child abuse or whatever? Let's see if we could hear what he's being charged with.
To motorcycle tags, and then also removing the governor on the bike, which limited the speed of the vehicle to 20 miles an hour, and rewiring it so that it would allow the vehicle to be driven up to 60 miles an hour.
Kimberly adds with the DA's office as Richard John Eastelin of Yorba Linda faces felony child endangerment and child abuse charges, along with contributing to the delinquency of a minor. She says his 12-year-old son was seriously injured last year after running a red light and crashing into a car on Via Lomas de Yorba West and La Palma Avenue.
He was wearing a helmet, but suffered intracranial bleed. He suffered a fractured femur, a fractured wrist, and several other injuries.
But police say the...
Damn, that kid got jacked up. Damn, that kid got jacked up.
Problem extends beyond this case. In Newport Beach, officers conducted a targeted enforcement operation around schools last month. In a single day, they stopped 46 e-bike riders, issued 37 administrative citations, 14 vehicle code citations, 12 warnings, impounded 3 e-bikes, and arrested 2 teens in electric motorcycles who attempted to evade officers. And Dr.
You got fools on e-bikes trying to run away from the Judas?
Doctors say they're seeing the impact as well. According to Children's Hospital of Orange County, doctors treated 201 e-bike trauma patients last year, up from 125 the year prior. In response, police departments across the county are holding safety seminars for e-bike riders and their parents.
A part of our training is not only doing the practical exercises and the hands-on training, but we also go into and actually showing some of the advertisements of some of the well-known manufacturers that are selling these bikes online, and showing them what the difference is and really opening their eyes to what an actual legal versus illegal device is.
But for now, prosecutors say the Yorba Linda case is meant to send a clear message to parents.
If you fail to follow those laws, then you, as the parent, are going to be held accountable.
The Yorba Linda father who was charged appeared in court yesterday, and he pled not guilty. But if he is found guilty, he faces up to 6 years in prison.
Wow.
Now, as far as the safety seminars offered by the Huntington Beach Police Department, we are told they're not the only ones that do them. A lot of the police departments here in Orange County also offer them. So if you are interested, you are encouraged to contact your local police department. Reporting live from Yorba Linda, Amber Frias, NBC4 News.
All right. Okay. All right. So, when I was a kid, that's when like little lawnmower bikes were being built. And I remember the homie had one. And this is when I was a kid. And I'm not talking about when I was a teenager. When I was a kid, I was like under 10 years old. And I remember, you would get like a lawnmower, get the motor of a lawnmower, and you would just kind of build like this little small, almost like that little motorcycle from the movie Dumb and Dumber. It'd be like that, dog. And once I saw one, I started seeing a lot more. And that's how you would turn it on, man. Just like you're turning on a lawnmower. It had the handle right there. You just yank that sucker, turn on, and boom, you just start riding. I don't know how fast they went. Some went faster than others, whatever, dog. But it was a different time, dog. It was a different time. But not everybody had those. I didn't see them everywhere, but I saw them here and there. And e-bikes, first of all, dog, look, one of the reasons why I don't really like e-bikes is because it takes away from kids pedaling. All right, and not just kids, but even adults. You got an e-bike, man. Have that e-bike, dog. Get yourself a real bike where you pedal. Use your strength, damn it. But like I go cycling, and on the trails, I see a lot of people on e-bikes. A lot of people on e-bikes. So I'm cranking my legs, dog. They're over there on an e-bike. I'm just like, gosh darn it, dog. I just want to get like a piece of rebar and just stick it in between like the front rim. But anyway, so this dad, he's facing some pretty bad charges. Hey dog, his son got jacked up, homie. His son got jacked up. 12 years old. He modified that sucker so it could go 60 miles per hour for whatever reason. I don't know, dog. I wouldn't even give my sons an e-bike. I mean, my sons are adults now, but going back, if they were 12 years old, and there wasn't, I don't think there was e-bikes back then, but if there were, I would not get them one. I wouldn't get them one. I bought let's see, my oldest son, he had a lowrider bike, and then my other son, I don't think he ever really had a bike. My other son had a lowrider bike, then I bought him a regular bike. But yeah, they weren't even into riding bikes too much. I mean, they play outside a lot, but yeah, dog, look, I've been saying this for a while, okay? When kids do things, I always say, where's the parents? Where are the parents? What are the parents up to? In this case, this kid was riding this modified e-bike, gets completely jacked up, even though he was wearing a helmet, gets completely jacked up. And my thing is like, okay, all right, look, accidents are going to happen. Okay, accidents are always going to happen. I don't want to turn this into like, hey, you know what? A kid was riding a bike and, you know, he got into an accident. We got to blame the parent. Like, nah, I don't want to turn into that because things do happen. But the fact that they're looking into that the dad helped, or the dad not helped, the dad is the one that modified this e-bike to go 60 miles per hour. Yeah, there's got to be something there, especially for a 12-year-old, man. That is, dog, that is fast, Holmes. To be on a bike, oh, man, you are feeling the air, dog. Let me see what you guys are saying here. I'm not even sure where I left off. I ain't got a real bike. That's right, I got a real bike, homie. I'm not gonna get no damn e-bike. That's young for that type of bike. Yeah, even if he didn't modify it, I mean, it's still young, man. I rode one before. They get going. Let me see. Thecholotrucker, what's up? From Nebraska. All right. No chamba. AK. No work. Man supposed to survive all 40 hours. No overtime. No work. Working man is the real tough guy. Your father's a tough guy. Let me see. Tap the light. I appreciate that, Audi Familia. Let me see. Lots of Indians and white boys ride. Look out here. Pinta Bound. Shouts to Pastor David Rocha. Dumb and Dumber. Yeah, you remember that little bike that they had in Dumb and Dumber? Okay, I saw those around in the 80s and even in the 90s. And like I said, they weren't all over the place, but they were around here and there. They were around here and there. My homie had one, and we used to ride that sucker right there. E-bikes are more dangerous than a real bike. I wonder, okay, I don't know the stat of how many people get injured in a real bike as opposed to a e-bike, but I would say significantly higher simply because I'm not even really sure how many people are actually riding real bikes as opposed to e-bikes. And I'm not talking about the actual true cyclists. That's not who I'm talking about. Because you got the actual real cyclists, right? The ones that, they have that look like if they're doing the Tour de France or something like that. I ain't talking about those people. I'm just talking about your everyday average Joe. How many people have real bikes that actually ride them as opposed to e-bikes? Because I'm seeing e-bikes all over the place now, dog. All over the place. I'm just seeing them zip through just everywhere. Let me see. It's human nature that kids want to make things to go faster and faster. Yeah, it is. It is. I mean, that's where the parent needs to step in and say, like, all right, look, man, as you get older, we'll look up into upgrading. But 12 years old, the dad is the one that modified it. 12 years old to go 60 miles per hour? Come on, dog. And now dad is screwed, Holmes. Now he's facing child endangerment, child abuse. I don't know about the child abuse charge. Like you're abusing your child. I don't know about that part. But everything now, your kid is all jacked up now. And you guys know kids, dog. If dad says, hey, it's cool, well, then that's it. The kid's not doing anything wrong in his mind. Let's see. E-bike at 12 years old. Oh, gee. What can go wrong? Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Now his kid is all jacked up. Who knows, dog? Who knows? All the injuries he got. Who knows if the kid's ever gonna be the same again? So, yeah, dog, that is something else. All right, let me touch on this one more right here. Something outside of e-bikes. I just wanted to touch on that, but let me go ahead and get to this one.
Trailer slammed into him on the 5 freeway last Friday night.
All right, let me start from the jump. Hold on. This is 2 times now in the span of like a week and a half that I've heard a truck. Well, the first one was a bobtail, but this one is an actual truck. Let's see, even companies are making and selling bikes that go that speed. Anthony Bravo, I'm sure. Okay, I don't know much about e-bikes, right? But I'm sure you can upgrade where some go faster. But I think there's got to be some sort of law that has to be put on there where it's like, well, wait a second, this is for kids. Just like if you buy dirt bikes, right? I mean, are you gonna give a 250 dirt bike, to a 10-year-old? So I think there's got to be something there. All right, let me get to this story here.
It was a tire change that turned deadly. A man killed after a tractor trailer slammed into him on the 5 freeway last Friday night. 22-year-old Alejandro Covarrubias was changing a flat tire when the truck driver plowed into him and didn't stop.
Angelique Hockaday is live in Valencia with more on CHP's investigation into this deadly hit and run. Angelique.
Well, this tragic crash, Aaron, Micah, happened just about 5 miles north of CHP here. We spoke to officers today. They said they are following each and every tip to try to find this driver who took the life of a science lover, a brother, and a son.
Wait, hold on. I mean, I don't mean to laugh at that. I mean, he's dead, and he was a young guy. But you have to put out there that he's a science lover? And they put that first, right? They put the science lover, a dad, or what?
Here, we spoke to officers today. They said they are following each and every tip to try to find this driver who took the life of a science lover, a brother, and a son.
A science lover, a brother, and a son. Okay. Well, I mean, I guess, he must have been a real nerd into science. Okay, all right.
It's been 5 days since 22-year-old Alejandro Covarrubias was on his way home to Altadena after spending a few days in Yosemite with his girlfriend when he died in a hit-and-run crash.
And now he's gone, and it's just really, really hard.
His sister, Ana Iscoa, still trying to process the heartbreaking loss, made even more devastating by the loss of their mother just 8 months ago. She says the two...
Oh, that sucks. Oh, that sucks. So their mom died 8 months before, and now, now he dies at 22 years old. Damn, that sucks.
were best friends.
It brings us a lot of comfort because she's there waiting. She's there with him and holding him and like questioning, like, why are you here?
The senseless tragedy happened on Friday night along the I-5 freeway near Lake Hughes Road in Castaic after Ana says her brother stopped to change a tire. His girlfriend, the only known witness, feeling the car move as the crash happened.
She just held his hand until he passed.
CHP advises drivers to pull off to the right when having a mechanical issue, which Covarrubias did.
We are still hopeful.
Okay, so he had a flat tire. Look, Holmes, get off the freeway. I mean, get on the shoulder if you can and just go slow. But get off the freeway, man.
CHP saying today they are asking the public's help with this one because right now, no arrests have been made.
A hit and run's gonna happen.
Okay, so it was a hit and run by a big rig.
At any time. It's hard to say the state of mind that people are in or why people hit and run. There's many reasons why they would not stop or be scared to stop.
They say they are following every lead, including multiple tips the driver was behind the wheel of a big rig pulling an Amazon trailer.
Possibly carrying or hauling a Amazon trailer. We are looking into that lead.
KTLA reached out to Amazon for a statement and are waiting for a response. Meanwhile, every second the driver remains out there is taking time away from the family's ability to grieve the loss of a life taken too soon.
Take accountability. We're human. Humans make mistakes. And the Bible says to forgive others as you would want to be forgiven.
Wow.
Now that family does have a GoFundMe to help pay for funeral expenses. If you'd like to donate, we have a link up right now on KTLA.com. For now, reporting live in Valencia, Angela Cacare. Back over to you in the studio.
What's her name? Angela what?
Now that family does have a GoFundMe to help pay for funeral expenses. If you'd like to donate, we have a link up right now on KTLA.com. For now, reporting live in Valencia, Angela Cacare. Back over to you in the studio. The GoFundMe to help
Angela Cacare?
Pay for funeral expenses. If you'd like to donate, we have a link up right now on KTLA.com. For now, reporting live in Valencia, Angela Cacare. Back over to you in the studio.
Okay, I've never heard that last name before. All right, so look, the reason why they stuck out to me is because it wasn't that long ago on one of these lives I talked about a man that was killed. I remember his first name because I was like, dog, who names their kid Perry? And this was a Chicano dude too, dog. And then he passed that name on to his son because his son was on the story. I don't mean to disrespect or anything, but I'm just like, dog, what raza family is naming their sons Perry? But anyway, he was killed by a big rig. It was a hit and run. And I was just like, okay, if I were in a car, all right, if I were in a regular four-wheeler, okay, pickup truck, whatever it may be, and I hit somebody, at that point, if I were planning on running, I'd be like, okay, this is the time to do it. I'll take off, right? Because you're in a car or just a regular motor vehicle. But if you're in a big rig truck, I don't know how you think you could get away. But however, I guess you can. Because the two stories that I've covered so far, these dudes have gotten away. I'm like, wait a second, this guy was pulling an Amazon 53-foot trailer? And as it stands right now, he's gotten away? Like when it happens in a big rig, I'm just kind of like, wow, there's no getting out of this. If you're doing it in a car, I at least, I could make sense where it's like, okay, the person's thinking they're going to get away, and they might, who knows? But when you're in a big rig, and it's like, órale, I ain't sticking around for this. I'm out of here. I'm like, yeah, it ain't gonna happen, but I guess it could. Because it has now. And by the way, I want to give props. May he rest in peace. This youngster, right? 22 years old. I want to give him props. You guys want to know why I want to give him props? Well, actually, let me see what you guys are saying first. Let me see. In California, e-bikes aren't allowed to go faster than 30 miles per hour. Okay, I didn't know that. I did not know that. Which that, like I said, that's pretty fast. I don't think people realize how jacked up you can get at 20, 30 miles per hour. Dog, you could get jacked up, man. And this dad went ahead and modified his 12-year-old son's e-bike to go 60 miles per hour. Let me see. Damn, a 3-for-1. Yeah. Let me see. Thecholotrucker. Should get off the highway if you can. Yeah, look, if you got a flat tire, just keep going. I mean, obviously you're not gonna go the speed limit. Turn your hazards on and just keep rolling. Get off the get on the off ramp and change the tire there. If you can. Flat. Especially in the city. Yeah. Carry a can of Fix-A-Flat. I mean, I don't know how busted up his tire was. I mean, if the tire was a complete blowout, Fix-A-Flat ain't gonna do a damn thing. But if it was just a slow leak, just hook that Fix-A-Flat up, nail that sucker into the tire, and then go to the nearest gas station and change the tire. Sad. If it was on truck, those have the ability to be tracked. Yeah, that's why I don't get it. I don't, and especially today where trucks have cameras. I don't. Now it could have been an owner operator pulling an Amazon trailer. Doesn't necessarily means that he is an employee of Amazon. It could be he's an owner operator and he's pulling a trailer for Amazon. I'm just the balls that this dude got, an 18-wheeler to say like, I'm out of here, dog. I'm not, in a vehicle, in a regular car, I'm kind of like, okay, I think maybe you stand a chance to get away. But in an 18-wheeler, just the thought process to say like, you know what, I'm gone. I know I'm gonna get away. I'm the truck driving DB Cooper, because I'm like, ain't no way you're gonna get away in an 18-wheeler, right? But I've been proven wrong. Unless they catch this dude. Sheesh, Perry. I don't get it, dog. I covered a story, like I said, I don't know, last week or the week before, and it was another dude that was killed in a hit and run by a truck. His name was Perry, and we're talking about raza here, and I'm like, it must have been somewhere in the family, because he named his son, who was also in the story, Perry Jr. And I'm like, who's I've grown up around different barrios. We've moved around a lot, been around so many different Chicano families, Mexican families. I have never came across a dude named Perry. That is like super bougie white name, right? But I just never came across a dude named Perry. It's like, dog, name the vato Carlos, Holmes. Hey, what's up, Vince? What's happening? First day of trial today. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to make it. All right, cool, dog. We're gonna get at it, Vince. We're gonna get at it, Holmes. Salvadorians like a lot of English names, like Edwin stuff. Doug, okay. Edwin, Douglas. I could kind of, I could vibe with a Doug or an Edwin. Perry? 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 Dog. Hey, homie. Just to think, growing up in the barrio, homie. Growing up in the barrio back in the day, dog. Kicking it with your homeboy Perry. Hey, I'm not talking masa, dog, okay? Because a dude named Perry is like the kid named Sue, right? Boy named Sue, I mean. like the song Boy Named Sue, because he could be all about it, all right? Or like Stallone in the movie Cobra. You guys know what his real name in the movie was. His real name was Marianne Cobretti. But you ain't gonna mess with Cobra. Remember when you walked up to those vatos, dog? Hey, what's up, man? You touched my car, eh? And I don't like it. Those dudes that were just kicking it outside, and Stallone just pushes the car forward. You touched my car, man. Let me see. So, trucker, good driver, but some big rig drivers are super dangerous on the road. Hey, you know what, Shawana? I'm gonna get to that on another one, dog. I'm gonna do a special on that, on just truck drivers, and a lot of truck drivers were gifted their CDLs, man, and they're really starting to crack down on that. Anyway, I said why I appreciate this youngster that passed away. So he was 22. May he rest in peace. And that sucks that his mom died 8 months beforehand. But the reason why I give this kid props, and I think we lost a real one in this 22-year-old kid, because this kid was 22. And what was he doing? What was he doing? He was changing a tire. Think about that. Think about that. This kid was 22 years old. He was changing a car tire. How many punk-ass mofos that there are around that don't know the first thing, just opening up the trunk to get the scissor jack? They got no idea. None. What's the first step to change a car tire? That's why I'm saying this kid was a big loss. Why? Because he was really into science. Now I'm glad they pointed that out, because this kid actually was going to do something. Why? Because this kid rolled up his sleeves and was changing a car tire, dog. You know how many fools there are out there that don't know how to change a car tire? They don't know the first thing. They'll look at the scissor jack, they'll look at everything, and they won't know a damn thing what to do. Let's just call AAA. This dude was super duper into science, obviously, and he knew how to change a car tire. This kid could roll up his sleeves, change a damn car tire, and he was really into science. We lost a real one. We lost a real one. Kid was 22 years old, knowing how to change a car tire. Now, I'm amazed when I run into dudes my age that don't know how to change a car tire. I don't run into too many people my age that don't know how to change a car tire, but like 10 years younger than me, oh yeah, they're all over the place. This kid was 22. Changing a car tire. So I salute that kid. And the fact that he was really into science, dog, shows me that this dude was going to do something in life. So I hope they catch this punk-ass trucker, dog. I hope they catch him. Get this fool off the road. And I'm not done talking about this, dog. Like I said, I'm gonna do a nice little special live, but not like this, dog. I'm gonna do it, I don't know, man, maybe when I'm at the pad or something, about drivers, and there's a lot going on. But Eastside Paramount, what's up, big dog? It was cool catching up with you earlier, homie. That store right there, Art, that store, like, it's not that I don't get along with the receivers back there, but especially the dude that was on forklift, they're just weird, homie. Not the dude that was telling you to, like, hey, you know what, you need to get on the back of that. That dude, I don't really mess with him too much. He's whatever. I rarely deal with him. But those dudes, dog, they're a little bit strange back there. Let me see. You're a diesel. I'm the cure. You're the disease, and I'm the cure. Yeah, dog. Yeah. Anyway, I gotta get up out of here. Oh man, I gotta talk about Cobra, Holmes, when he pulls up to them vatos, dog. Pushes the car forward. Hey, what you doing, man? You touched my car. Let's see. What? Pinche. The action was so dumb, so stupid, so forced. It was ridiculous, but it was great. It was great, dog. Anyway, I gotta get up out of here, man. Let me see. A lot. These kids have to use the same phone. Use a phone. 22-year-old. Damn shame. Instead of having year-old dudes out here, plus still being a kid nowadays. Yeah. So we lost the real one. That's all I really need to know about this kid, man. That's all I need to know about this kid. He was really into science, and this kid was changing. He was out there on the freeway, changing his own damn tire. Mazel tov to that kid, as the Jews say. We lost the real one. That kid could have really done something in science. Teach your kids how to change tires, damn it. All right, I got to get up out of here, man. All right, you guys be good. I'll catch you guys on another one.